Welcome to Wonder Frame.
Have you ever been told to be super quiet? Well, there is one room on Earth that is so quiet it will freak you out. This room is so silent that most people beg to leave after just a few minutes. What could make a quiet room so scary? The answer will totally surprise you, because the problem is not what is outside your body, it is what is inside it. Today, you are going to visit the quietest place on the entire planet and find out exactly why your brain absolutely cannot stand it. The place is called an anechoic chamber. Say it with me, anechoic. It is a big science word that just means one thing, without echo. It sits inside Orfield Laboratories in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A scientist named Stephen Orfield built it, and it holds a Guinness World Record.
The record was set on November 19, 2021. The room measured negative 24.9 decibels. Decibels measure how loud a sound is. 0 decibels is the quietest sound a human can hear, so negative decibels, that is below the level your ears can even pick up. Mind blown. Your quiet bedroom at night, that is about 30 decibels. This chamber is more than 50 decibels quieter than that. That is a huge difference. But how do you even build something that quiet? Here is where it gets really cool. This room is actually a room inside a room inside a room. First, the outside building has concrete walls that are 12 whole inches thick. That is as thick as a big dictionary standing up. Inside that is a big steel chamber, and inside that is the actual anechoic room, made of double walls of thick steel, 3 layers of protection.
But here is the extra clever part. The whole inner room sits on special springs, like a building on a bouncy mattress, so vibrations from the ground never get in. So outside noise cannot get in. But what stops echoes inside the room? That is where the really wild stuff is on the walls. Every single wall, the ceiling, and even the floor is covered in giant pointed wedges. They look like huge teeth or spikes made of fiberglass. These wedges are 3.3 feet thick. That's taller than many of you watching right now. They are basically giant sponges for sound. When a sound wave hits one of these wedges, it cannot bounce straight back. Instead, it gets trapped, bouncing deeper and deeper between the spikes until it disappears. The material soaks up the sound's energy and turns it into a tiny bit of heat. The sound does not bounce back, it just disappears forever. This whole thing absorbs 99.99% of all sound. That is basically everything. The room is almost perfectly echo-free. By the way, a scientist named Leo Baranek was the very first person to coin the word anechoic chamber. His work helped make all these rooms possible. Now your brain right now is thinking, that sounds amazing and peaceful, I would love it in there. But here is the crazy part. You would not. Stephen Orfield, the man who owns the lab, says it best. He says in the anechoic chamber, you become the sound. What does that even mean? Think about it. Right now, your room has background sounds, a fan, a car outside, the hum of lights. Your brain uses those sounds to feel normal. Now imagine all of that is gone, completely gone, 0. Your brain suddenly has nothing to listen to, so it starts searching for any sound it can find. And it finds some, but they are sounds from inside your own body. Your heart going thump thump, your lungs breathing in and out, your stomach gurgling. These sounds are always there. Your heart never stops, your lungs never stop. But normally, the sounds around you are louder, and your brain ignores the body sounds. In the anechoic chamber, those inner sounds are the only sounds. And hearing your own heartbeat loud and clear, people say it is deeply unsettling. But wait, it gets even wilder. People in the chamber have reported hearing the sound of their blood pumping inside their own head, like a whooshing river. And the most surprising one of all, people say they can actually hear the sound of their own eyelids closing when they blink. Can you even believe that? Pause for a second right now and close your eyes really slowly. Can you hear it? Comment below what you think it sounds like. I really want to know.
Now your ears are weird enough in there, but your body gets confused too. And this part is something most people never expect. You know how you can walk around a room without bumping into walls, even in the dark? Part of that is because you hear tiny echoes of your own movement. Your brain uses those tiny reflected sounds to understand the space around you. It is like a built-in map that uses sound. Pretty clever, right? But in the anechoic chamber, there are no echoes. Your sound map goes completely blank. Your brain has no idea where the walls are, or even which way is up.
This is so disorienting that most people lose their balance. They wobble and sway. Many visitors have to sit down on the floor just to feel stable. Oh, and by the way, the floor in there is not even solid. It is a wire mesh you can see through, so you already feel like you are floating. No solid floor under your feet, no sound around you, hearing your own heartbeat. It is a lot for your brain to deal with all at once. The claimed record for the longest anyone has stayed inside in the dark is 45 minutes. Most people ask to leave way before that. Researchers named Mason and Brady actually studied what happens to people in total silence. They found it can cause a very weird feeling, like the room is not real. The good news? These weird feelings go away the moment you step back out. The chamber is completely safe. Your brain just really loves some sound. But here's something cool about this building's history before it was a science lab. It used to be a famous recording studio called Sound 80. Artists like Bob Dylan and even Prince recorded their music right in that very building. So the space went from making music to silencing all sound. How cool is that? Now, you might be thinking, who actually uses this kind of room? Is it just for scaring people? Nope, it has some really amazing real-world jobs. Harley-Davidson, the famous motorcycle company, has used the chamber to test their engines. They wanted their bike to sound just right, not too noisy, not too quiet. Engineers have also used it to test how quiet cell phones are, to check heart valves, and to make home appliances like dishwashers less annoying. And NASA, the space agency, uses similar chambers to train astronauts. Space is nearly silent. Astronauts need to get used to that quiet before they go up. There is also a friendly rivalry in the world of quiet. For a while, Microsoft's lab in Redmond, Washington held the record at negative 20.6 decibels. But in 2021, Orfield Laboratories beat them back. Stephen Orfield's lab has now won the Guinness World Record 3 times, in 2004, 2012, and 2021. Now, let us clear up something. People sometimes say the room will drive you completely crazy. That is not true. Your brain just gets confused for a little while. The moment you step back out, the sounds of the world rush back in. Your brain adjusts in seconds. No lasting harm at all, just a very wild story to tell. And there is another misconception. People think the chamber is completely, totally 100% silent. It is not. It is echo-free, but not soundless. If you clap your hands in there, you would hear the clap, but it would stop instantly. No ring, no reverb, no tail, just gone. Like a sound popping like a bubble. Every room you have ever been in has reverb. That is the sound bouncing off walls and coming back to your ears a tiny bit delayed. You have been hearing it your whole life. You never notice it because it is always there. It's like how you do not notice the air until you stop breathing for a moment. Sound is the same way. The anechoic chamber teaches us something amazing. A little bit of noise is not a bad thing. Your brain actually needs sound to feel safe and grounded. Think about your world right now. There are sounds everywhere. Traffic, notifications, the buzz of lights. Your brain has been quietly filtering all of that out for you. Your brain is working hard every single second, managing a whole ocean of sound. The anechoic chamber shows us just how brilliant and busy that job really is. But even though noise is everywhere, too much of it for too long is tiring. Studies show that finding a quiet spot, like a park, can actually help your brain rest and recharge. So the quietest place on Earth teaches you 2 things at once. You need sound to feel normal, and you also need some quiet to feel your best. Balance is everything. The technology from rooms like this is used to make your life better right now. Engineers use anechoic chambers to design quieter computers, phones, and even cars. Every time your computer fan does not buzz annoyingly, that is partly thanks to anechoic chamber research. The quiet of that room makes everyday noisy things less noisy. Okay, before we finish, let us do a super fast recap of the biggest things you just learned. 3 amazing facts to remember and tell your friends. Number 1, the world's quietest room is at Orfield Laboratories. It measures negative 24.9 decibels, which is actually below the level humans can hear. Number 2, the room is built like 3 rooms stacked inside each other with phone wedges shaped like giant teeth to swallow up 99.99% of all sound. Number 3, in that room, your own body becomes the only sound. You can hear your heartbeat, your breathing, your blood, and even the sound of your own eyelids blinking. Remember at the start, you were asked if you have ever been told to be super quiet? Now you know, the quietest place on Earth is actually too quiet for your brain. Quiet is great, but your body's own sounds filling up the silence, that is where things get wonderfully, brilliantly strange. Your body is making music all day long. If you love discovering hidden science like this, go watch our video called The Secret Glowing Rock That Guided Ancient Sailors Across Oceans. It is just as mind-blowing. And subscribe so you never miss the next weird, wonderful science secret we dig up. See you there!
Thanks for watching. If you had fun, hit subscribe and ring the bell. See you in the next one.